In the frozen magnetic fields of the snowy mountains, life doesn't start with a heartbeat, but with a pulse of electromagnetic energy. This is Beldum. At first glance, he is nothing more than a floating robotic limb, a single glowing red eye set into a torso of solid steel. He is the ultimate minimalist of the biological world. While other young Pokémon play or hunt, Beldum simply exists in a state of constant synchronization with the planet's magnetic poles. He doesn't breathe air, he drinks electricity and force fields. He is a creature of singular focus, moving through the blizzards with a cold, rhythmic precision that ignores the very concept of fatigue. But even in this desolate, high-altitude laboratory, he is not alone. From the jagged ice caves, a young Haxorus watches, its tusks already sharp enough to splinter rock. The Haxorus represents the chaotic fury of nature, wild, unpredictable, and aggressive. It launches a testing strike, a reckless lunge aimed at Beldum's metallic frame. Any other creature would flinch, but Beldum's red eye doesn't even blink. He doesn't feel fear because fear is an inefficient use of energy. Instead, Beldum calculates. With a subtle shift in his magnetic aura, he exerts a repulsive force that sends the Haxorus tumbling back into the snow. It's not a fight, it's a correction. Beldum isn't interested in dominance yet. He is interested in fusion. He knows that his current form is just a fragment of a greater machine. Somewhere in his cold, binary soul, he feels the pull of his brothers. He is searching for the others, knowing that only by merging can he achieve the processing power required to rule this frozen wasteland. The storm rages on, but for Beldum, the weather is just another variable to be calculated. The singular eye of Beldum has found its mirror. In a spectacular display of magnetic attraction, two Beldum collide, but they do not shatter. Instead, they fuse at a molecular level, their steel carapaces melting and reforming into a singular, dual-brained entity. Metang. This is the first leap toward true artificial intelligence. With two brains linked by a high-speed electromagnetic nervous system, Metang's cognitive capacity doesn't just double, it grows exponentially. He no longer just reacts to the magnetic poles, he manipulates them. He hovers with terrifying stability, his two massive metallic claws capable of ripping through reinforced concrete as if it were wet paper. But the chaos of the mountain has also evolved. The young Haxorus is gone, replaced by a fracture, a beast of pure, unbridled aggression with tusks that can shatter diamonds. The fracture views the mountain as a trophy to be won through violence. Metang views it as a system to be optimized. The fracture charges, its movements a blur of primal fury, aiming a dual chop intended to cleave Metang in two. Metang's red eyes glow with a cold, flickering light. He doesn't move to dodge, he simply calculates the trajectory. With a burst of psychic energy, Metang creates a localized gravitational distortion. The fracture's blades miss by a fraction of a millimeter, striking nothing but frozen air. Metang counters with a precise magnetic pulse that pins the dragon to a nearby glacier. It is an exercise in efficiency, minimal effort, maximum control. But even this dual-core processing is insufficient for the coming storm. Metang can feel the pull of another pair of his brothers nearby. The ultimate synchronization is approaching, where logic will finally replace the need for combat. The final synchronization is no longer a choice. It is a mathematical inevitability. Two Metang units, carrying a total of 4 independent brains, collide in a spectacular explosion of blue electromagnetic light. In the center of the storm, the atoms of steel and psychic energy rearrange themselves into a cross-shaped masterpiece of destruction. Metagross. He is the supercomputer of the natural world, a 4-legged fortress that processes information faster than a blinking eye. With 4 brains linked in a flawless neural network, he doesn't just think, he simulates reality. For Metagross, time doesn't flow. It is a series of static variables waiting to be solved. Emerging from the blizzard, the Haxorus lets out a roar that shatters the surrounding ice spires. He is a titan of primal rage, his axe-like tusks glowing with the deadly energy of an outrage. To the Haxorus, this is a battle for the soul of the mountain. To Metagross, it is a simple equation with only one possible outcome. The Haxorus charges, a whirlwind of scales and steel-cleaving strikes. Any other Pokémon would be shredded in seconds. Metagross remains perfectly still, his 4 red eyes flickering as he runs millions of combat simulations in a nanosecond. He identifies the Haxorus's center of gravity, the microscopic fractures in its armor, and the exact millisecond of its fatigue. Without a hint of wasted movement, Metagross tucks his legs and hovers, his massive body becoming a psychic battering ram. He doesn't dodge the axe strike. He parries it with a calculated meteor mash that strikes with the force of a falling star. The impact isn't just physical. It's a disruption of the Haxorus's very momentum. The dragon is no longer fighting a rival. He is fighting the laws of physics itself, and physics never loses. The Haxorus is a chaotic storm of scales and steel, but Metagross is the eye of that storm, perfectly calm and infinitely dangerous. The dragon attempts one final, desperate giga impact, throwing every ounce of its primal weight into a strike that should, by all laws of nature, shatter any opponent. But Metagross has already solved this move. With a subtle manipulation of the magnetic field, he alters the friction beneath the Haxorus's feet, causing the dragon to slip by a fraction of a degree. It is a humiliatingly simple correction. As the Haxorus stumbles, Metagross delivers the final variable. A Zen headbutt, powered by the synchronized psychic energy of 4 interconnected brains. The impact is silent and absolute. The Haxorus doesn't just fall, he is computationally deleted from the battlefield. The dragon collapses into the snow, not out of physical destruction, but out of sheer cognitive exhaustion. He has realized that you cannot defeat an opponent that knows your next move before you even think it. Metagross doesn't roar in triumph, nor does he show a glimmer of pride, his 4 red eyes dimming to a low-power standby mode. The mountain returns to its frozen silence. The Haxorus will eventually wake up and find a new territory, far away from the spider-shaped fortress of steel. The hierarchy of the peak has been established not by blood, but by binary superiority. Metagross remains the ultimate guardian, a living supercomputer that ensures the ecosystem runs with maximum efficiency. He doesn't just rule the mountain, he optimizes it. The battle wasn't a struggle for survival, it was a successful simulation. And in the world of Metagross, the result is always a perfect, undeniable 0.